had a conversation with a friend that was interesting, was beneficial. And I think every conversation is. It is, it is the path of which I feel called to, and then it leads me to the answer that I need, and it manifests in just the rate at which I just need. But I think there's some room with that left to reflect upon just sitting with myself. And I think one thing that is difficult with that process is basically just so discussion was, sobriety, and how, like, it was an aspect of the conversation in which sobriety played the role of, not wanting to, or not needing to seek out another experience, because there's a certain point in which, you keep doing the substance or the vice or whatever it is, and ultimately you feel more numb, you feel more empty, and it has diminishing returns, and ultimately it's like it's not productive towards your creativity or towards your lifestyle or towards your productivity and what you need to be doing. And there's moments where you need that break, or you need to momentarily stop. And so in my journey of exploring sobriety, the act of being sober is the easiest part by far. The act of being sober is the most easiest action because it doesn't require me to do anything. In fact, it requires the lack of anything. It's just the lack of substance. But I think, of course, what happens within that is, you replace a bad habit. You have to replace it with a good habit. And within that, there's a state of limbo that you kind of just like stay stuck within. It's just like that it's a purgatory of your own creation, in a sense, because like you haven't established a new pattern to replace that habit. And so it's not the act of sobriety that is easy. It is the act of continually finding things to make life meaningful, and to continually find ways to keep going. And I think that in itself is the most difficult part. In a sense, it's dealing with the mundane and just experiencing the mundane and how your feelings present themselves for how they are. And I think that's fairly difficult. I'm trying to find ways to kind of escape that in a way, and to keep myself busy. But within all of that busyness, I'm not giving myself time to rest, in which I desperately need that release of rest. It's like I am denying myself of being worthy of something. And I think that's a majority problem that I've always faced, is that when I'm faced with blessings or achievements or something that I've genuinely wanted, there's a part of me that feels ashamed for having what I desired, or for seeking it out, or for even having the thing that I so desperately desired and wanted. And I think in the past I would have say, hey, there's more work to be done. I need to fix myself. I need to do this. I need to do that. But I don't feel like I am that version of me anymore. I know that the answers exist within me. And I'm beginning to trust that I have those answers. But it's difficult processing those emotions and tending back to tendencies that I used to have. And I guess there's this idea in which I feel like I haven't changed. When that, I know that is not true at all. That's not true to any part of my being. But it's this feeling that I am still the same person. And perhaps it is difficult for me to acknowledge the fact that I am evolving and shifting every single day, and that my perspectives are only growing in insight, and only growing and only changing each single day that I breathe. Every day is a different opportunity. But it's something, whether it be my ego or my own sense of self-identity, still feels like I am the same person. And I know it's hard to objectively judge myself and to not see within a perspective of my tunnel vision. And I think this is an opposite tunnel vision. It's I had a tunnel vision in which I was not active in my life, and I had a tunnel vision in which I was actively seeking to destroy my life, and I was actively on a path of self-destruction, and that consumed me for a majority of last year. And I guess that identity, it's hard for me to not identify with that identity. And it's also hard for me to not only see that as an aspect of myself within that time and give grace to that old dying, that part of me that desperately needed warmth and affection and love and to be nurtured, and instead was on a path of self-destruction and mutilation and just was unhealthy. But I can see the parallels in which, as I am trying now, and as I am moving forward in a way that there is momentum, and that there is a lightness, and that there is a better path. I guess there is a part of me that wants to deny my own destiny. And I want to basically shy away from the powers or abilities or the things that I know I can do. And it's it's scary because then it has me questioning the the standards in which I've held myself up to, of if I am not all of these things, what am I? You know, if I am not this identity that is choosing to do all of these things and chasing all of these things and avenues and, you know, constantly pushing myself to be the best or to constantly do better. What is my identity if I am just normal? Or do I have the privilege to be normal? Do I have the privilege to make mistakes and not be perfect? And that is a difficult thing that I have been grasping for quite a while. And it's not an answer that I will find overnight. And it is a leap of faith. It is a question of whether I can hold on to that dream or vision and even have the ability to let go of that vision, let go of that dream, and know that in time, that dream will come to reality. And maybe not even the way that I imagined it to be, or maybe in the way that I envisioned or sought it out. Because it is an ever constantly changing and revolving universe in which everything is shifting. No moment is exactly the same. And I think within that chaos, within that mundanity, within that searching, simply I just have to live. There can't be any running, or there can't be any. I mean, not that there can't be, but it's a lot. It's a heavy roll. It's a heavy toll. It's a lot of expectation and I guess I'm placing a lot of expectation on myself to finally do something or be something, or when I know that I don't need it, it's the work is never definitive. It's just like this journal entry. It's just like this this moment of time. It's only a mirror or a lens or perspective of this moment and how I feel and how I am and how I express myself now. How do I express myself now? And I think that's what we don't give enough credit to, or give enough leeway, or give enough power, or even just surrendering to the fact that we are all human. And so it's like we're constantly shifting, constantly changing, and it's difficult. It is difficult.